10-day week?
Yes, I do know that.
Being a producer of anything, whether it's news, media, anything, on the weekend, can we go? Dad, no, I have to cancel. Go ahead.
Well, I have one person they're in NPR and they're like pushing to get to you. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, no. I love NPR because there's no real boundaries.
There isn't, but they don't work on the weekend.
Well, what can I tell you?
And I'm like, well, okay.
It could have gotten me last night on a Friday.
Yeah, but they're like, no.
Or Monday morning.
It's on their schedule.
Well, we have to keep this going because you have to thank the audience.
I do thank the audience.
We don't have enough of our talent out there because they have kids, private schools, all kinds of issues. And every time I ask them, you want to go with me? Tamala Jones, who I met at the It Girl for Amazon for our theme, the scare.
Right.
It was 150 of all the African-American black actresses who are in the business, who are inspired by me, and many of them played my daughters. And they're all were there. Even Raven Simone, who's a fabulous director and a writer.
Agreed.
It's just so many levels of them. And we were saying that they wanted to do what I'm doing, but they have kids. And there's no sitters, and there's COVID, and there's this and that.
So many,
you have to thank the audience and build your brand. I shouldn't be the only one here. No. And you have so many different cultures. So we're hoping with me producing and directing and writing women-themed movies for Tubi, which is Cinnamon.
Excellent.
And Hulu and all the networks.
Hulu's on fire lately.
Hulu, ABC is my mothership that did Bless This Mess and 20th Century Fox. So I have these, vendors waiting for not low budget, but responsible budget because I know the audience. And once we have a hit, it gravitates a larger audience and builds off of that. We're not having $35 million actors being paid.
No. That's
over.
That day is long gone.
No, they try. Because they said, I didn't accept $35 million, but the companies did.
They did. And then got all no.
But you can't keep emptying the bank.
No.
The banks are empty. I'm in New Mexico. Our tax incentive is gone. It was $600 million. Oppenheimer was the last, and Rust. And Rust had to finish in Montana.
Wow.
And that's it. All the studios are closed right now.
Yeah, I heard everybody basically just pulled out of New Mexico after the big, exodus to it.
You can't lose $600 million. No. Where do you put it? So it went to everybody else in the country. You have to be great in management, take $50 million out, put it in a holding company like a construction draw. Productions had already applied last year for this year.
Well, and I think someone got a new bathroom out of it.
No, we got police cars.
Well.
And we got streets. Something was saved, but the number one industry for New Mexico is film. Number two is tourism. And people live there part-time. So and they don't have all-time, full-time help.
Wow.
Hello.
So with all of the...
Are you recording this?
Oh, yeah. He's been going since you sat down. So we'll skip the intro because I like where we're at right now.
I've always had a business hat.
And that's great because of all of the roles and hats and everything, beautiful hat, by the way, that you're... currently wearing, what are you finding the most fulfillment out of and enjoyment with?
My experience from other teachers that taught me. Because I left pre-med at Metro State. It was established in 1967.
Yes.
Okay.
So that means you were hanging out in the Tivoli and studying with everybody else?
I was not. I had 5 jobs. I was riding my bike in the snow to save my books.
Right.
No, and I worked at Max Record Rack on the weekends. Yeah. And literally... and I also rode my bike to East High School in the snow. They thought, who are you? You're an alien. No, that's... In the Air Force, you are exposed to cultures from all over the world who ride their bike, cross-country ski, do things that you go, we can do that. So you're not labeled as urban or ghetto. Not in Colorado. There's no black ghetto people. We are mountain climbers. We ski. We have snowmobiles. We have everything.
Right.
And so that's what got me in the door is growing up and having the friends at East High School who took me to ski. Mm-hmm. And they were gazillionaires. They owned rubber company.
Oh, they're part of the Gates family?
I'm not saying.
No names, no names.
But the children embraced me and wanted to share, because they knew Pam is the smartest person here. She's riding her bike to school.
Put you in charge.
And I didn't have money to go to school.
Right.
Because we were traveling all over. Who do we apply for a scholarship and grant? All my friends were going to school but me, going to university. Became judges, lawyers. Phyllis, one of my friends in Denver, she became a newscaster for NBC forever. Right. Judges, lawyers, everything. Me, I'm riding my bike in the snow to Metro State to be in pre-med. And my professor said, Pam, you're grading papers for money. You're writing it. What do you want to do? Are you doing what you really want to do? He said, don't do what I do.
Right.
Don't do what I did.
Don't fall for the trap.
So I said, I like TV and movies and film. John Steinbeck, Ernest Hemingway, the minimalist writers and maximalist writers. Everyone, Scott Fitzgerald could write one theme for like 10 chapters. I like film. He said, well, you should be trying to get into film school. I'd never heard of it before. We didn't have it in Denver. He said, I'm going to check. He found that there were 4 film schools in this country in '68.
Wow.
4. UCLA, USC, NYU, and Northwestern. That was it.
When you started this journey, did you have any idea that it would bring you here or take you as far as it had?
No, because you never know how your spirit is going to be, as I call it, spirit wealth.
Yes.
Where people, whether it's, because I did Roger Corman films for tuition.
Right.
$600 a week. And
that was good money.
the big Birdcage, from the Rolling Stone magazine did an article on me. The budget was $125,000 and it grossed $10 million.
Yeah.
Because of Miss On the Edge, Colorado, climbing mountains, urban sister climbs mountains.
The natural woman coming to plant her flag.
But that's what Roger Corman hired me for. He said, I walked in looking like Angela Davis. I had my Timberland boots on.
You are the first action hero female, in my mind, as far as film is concerned.
Anything to keep from doing the dishes.
These tans don't bust suds.
No, you leave the soap on the water and your mama comes out and says, rinse them again. Rinse them all again. Look you can't have food on the pan. You got to scrape it. You got to clean it.
That's right.
But we're military. You did it right the first time.
Were you guys living over on Lowry? Or
my dad retired at Lowry.
Okay.
And my grandfather retired at Fitzsimmons. He was the farmer from Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
They had the farm that basically was my therapy from my attacks that I had as a little girl.
Right.
And my grandfather wouldn't let me stay in Denver, wouldn't let me stay in the city around urban kids, which were mainly boys.
Right.
And that's when I had my issues, my traumatic experiences. So he would take me up to their sugar beet farm and outside of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And, the sugar beet industry was the major industry for the consumer, for sugar, baked goods, the sugar for consumption,
right.
Human consumption. And the pulp. The beet pulp was the organic natural feed for livestock.
Right.
No hormones, no chemicals, nothing. And it was just the shredded beet that everyone fed their livestock, which was organic.
Wow.
No chemicals. And when they outsourced the sugar beet industry in the 50s, there went the entire sugar beet industry.
Just crushed it.
Millions of people, farms, everything went down the drain. They're starting to come back. Now, no one's eating meat.
No.
However, and it's that, that meat that's plant-based.
Yeah, that's not real meat. That's just veggie burger.
So that's okay. We eat beans.
It's true.
It's made out of beans and plants. And you won't, you're so healthy from eating it. All you put, it's basically the sauce anyway.
Yeah.
The flavoring. So,
So out of this, did this give you kind of the idea or the foundation for the horse rescue and all of the amazing work that you do with the equestrian arts and all of that?
The horse rescue was my family's horse saved me.
Oh, excellent.
And that's why when I was told not to get on the draft horse that pulled the sugar beet wagon, what did a child do?
Get on the
horse. But we also had a bull. It was either the bull or the horse. And the bull was dripping snot all the time, so I went for the horse and climbed the fence.
Right.
And that horse literally saved me that day because I was not speaking. I was considered developmental after that because they thought they didn't have a word for autistic
Right.
or special needs at the time. So I just stopped speaking after the second attack. The first attack hit a child sitting behind me at Mitchell Elementary, picked up a chair and crashed me in the head with it. The steel, those are solid.
Those are solid, yeah.
Went through my skull, bleeding brain. I was unconscious for 6 hours, and I never spoke again. Wow. And I was a little peanut, I didn't even know why. And
right.
all I saw was a teacher doing. Next thing I know, I saw the grain on the floor, and I was out
right.
for a day. And then after that, I didn't speak anymore, and I was traumatized. And the next attack was a year later with some 13-year-olds in the projects in Platte Valley, and that traumatized me. So my grandfather said, "That's it, Pam," because I didn't speak, so I looked vulnerable. And
right.
the bullies I was a target for the bullies, so I understand bullying. And so from all of these things, and then subsequently the next attack was in Denver, a friend of the family said, Pam's so shy. She studies all the time. She needs to get out. She needs to marry, all this stuff. I wore Goodwill clothes that didn't fit. No wonder I didn't have any dates. Mom, stop, okay?
I know they're corduroy pants and somebody else is in $2.
Corduroy, that's for rich people. That's people who can wash their clothes and get it clean because they're going to be covered in dog hair in like 10 seconds. Are you kidding? But what started my therapy was I knew from my life is really simple. And I was an influencer for Subaru for 12 years. And they kept, for Dining Out for Life, Pilots and Paws, all the restaurants for Dining Out Life, their whole day would be devoted to people living with AIDS who need jobs and education and car and apartment.
Right. And
restaurants all across the country and in Canada would donate a day's take of their revenue. And I would drive a Subaru Outback until all the kids, my nephews and neighbors, grew out of them. The knees are up around their ears. So finally I said, "Can you build an Outback on steroids called the Ascent?" Because the kids are going to grow.
Yeah.
And so it's great when you're a retired professor, and it's just you and your husband tooling around.
Right.
And then when the kids are little and in car seats, it's great. But when they start to grow, you have to have a lot. So there's the Ascent. So I had one for a Subaru for 12 years, and I sold many cars, but I also supported Dining Out for Life, Angel Heart, Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels I've worked with, and they are an amazing foundation.
Clean Up National Parks, Yellowstone. I talked to the president of it just yesterday to ask him about the fires because everyone who was in outdoor me and my friends would go to the national parks and clean up. It's called facelift.
Right.
So we would clean up all the national parks. So that's number 3. And then Meals on Wheels. And Subaru reads and educates. So they donate books to charter schools and schools that are underserved.
Oh.
So I did that they kept giving me a car each year. I'm going to do
who's
that.
to say no to that?
So I didn't need to have a Ferrari. I didn't need to show off. And the studios since day one have been very generous to me because I've always been a student.
You're not taking advantage of the situation. You're just working within the means.
I'm just learning from people around me.
Right.
My humility stayed intact. I get snapped up upside my head like, okay, I don't have a show where I'm shopping all day and dining and fighting. No reality shows like that, but everyone. A few networks want to do a reality show with me, and some.
I don't know if they keep up.
They very much so. I'm connected to at least 9 studios and networks.
Wow.
And
do you think the streaming industry has helped?
Absolutely.
Hollywood?
Absolutely. You've got to have a source of revenue coming in, and you can still have. You have syndication, and you have what you can film if you haven't depleted the budget. So what you don't want to do, because you got to be, they think money's sitting on the table and you just draw from it. No, it's a mortgage that the CEO has to sign for, and the clock is ticking once that ink dries. So you've got 90 days, pre-production, production, post-production, marketing out in the same year. They used to take their time, not today.
Not anymore.
But streaming a lot of people can't afford to go to dinner and a movie. They got to have a babysitter. They got to have parking. They have to have the time, disposable dollars. Being at home, their home is the home theater. Mm-hmm. And what I started, sidebar, was when my movies from the Roger Corman, AIP, Black Mama, White Mama, Coffee, Foxy Brown Sheba, Friday Foster would play in mainstream theaters. Mm-hmm. They would play way past their deadline.
Oh, yeah.
And sell a lot of popcorn. And all the theater owners loved me, but taught me the marketing and essence of where your audience is, how long they stay, what season to play what. And so Pam, the Silverman Company, Jack Silverman, who had a ranch here in Aspen, said, Pam, you're going to create a lot of enemies because your movies stay in the theaters too long. So that developed, out of necessity comes genius, the multiplex theater. Action, Mary Poppins, rom-com, romantic, right. Cartoons. So you have 4, 5, 6 different films in a theater playing all day long. Another marketing revenue stream. And all of those movies that were made at that time by SAG and all of our unions, we still get residuals, mm-hmm. Infinitely. They are now being streamed to people who hadn't seen them 20 years ago. So now
even
you have
some 30 years ago. Some
30,
people are still catching up.
30, 40. Mm-hmm. And there's I'm a student, so I research a lot of the movies.
Right.
For what I want to do and fill in, and for nostalgia and the authenticity of the errors that I'm looking at. So the streaming $4.99 or free, like Tubi, which is free because advertising pays for their rentals. Mm-hmm. So people just apply, give up their email, but they can see endless amount of research as they study as a student.
Right.
And so their kids' family are having family night. People stop staying home because there's slime and pizza sauce on the floor and, chili for, we were at home for right. 3 years for the pandemic. So now the streaming is literally the juggernaut, and always will be, because people, all the generations can refer to, and students, and I post, because I do my research right. from them as well. And so when the Academy asked me, when they were considering me for being nominated for them, The Scare, because they had never seen me play an elderly woman with arthritis, and I'm seeing the devil, and I'm seeing all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's not Jackie Brown, Foxy Brown. And when Little Marvin met me, he said, "You're too young. Look at you. You're a bunny rabbit. How do you play?" I said, "I'll slow down." I said, "I'll stop drinking so that you can hire me." So
fair trade.
The purpose of streaming, when they asked me, the only way I could find I Love Lucy.
Sure.
Do you remember Sky King and Penny?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
Sky King and his dog and Penny. I was Penny. I'm in your ass, Penny. In your ass, Penny. And then I Love Lucy, and then I Married Joan, and the Marx Brothers.
Absolutely.
Brilliance.
Huge Abbott and Costello, Vincent Price. That's all my youth right there.
Is right there. You want to see good horror? You want to see
Abbott and Costello, what they did?
Comedy?
Yes.
Slapstick?
So good.
Vaudeville? And the actors today don't have it.
Yes. No.
They can't even manufacture it because they don't study.
They don't study.
They're too busy, having juices, ancillary markets, because they're limited. They're not going to get 25, 35 million a movie anymore.
No.
That's over because you have losses. Killing of the Flower Moon, $200 million. Guess Leonardo DiCaprio made $35 million. Guess how much it grossed? No, it's going to scare you how little it was.
I don't think that broke.
It didn't. Didn't even break even. It didn't even come close. Color Purple. You could go on and on and on of all the movies that emptied, drained. It was just, our industry was a $6 billion industry. It is now $2 billion. We lost 4. Not going to get that back.
Nope. It's gone.
And I love George Clooney because when he wrote and directed Boys in the Boat. It's about crewing. That's in a very elitist sport.
Very.
Unless you're a kayaker in an Ironman contest, but otherwise, who's going to watch it?
No.
They're crewing against the Nazis. Everybody, who? A what?
Who's a Nazi?
What's a
Nazi?
It was $40 million. It was $40 million. Didn't break even. It was a bust. He gave his director's salary back to the production company, MGM, which has my catalog.
Right.
Okay? So I know that there's a draw, and everyone says, when is it going to come back? I don't know how many people that moved to New Mexico, sold their homes in Los Angeles because there's some writers that were working for me.
Right.
They had to give up their homes and move in with relatives in Albuquerque because they thought there were jobs in New Mexico because of the $600 million tax incentive.
Well, a lot of the local actors here and writers, they all sold their houses and moved down there too because that's where the work was.
I know them. I paid mortgages. I paid people's gas and food and firewood and a herd of goats that was going to be in a movie. 50
Really?
goats.
A herd of goats?
Yes.
Jesus.
There is the need, and I learned how to be a goat herder. I learned from
Where do you put that on?
Me.
Is that a special skill on your resume?
Absolutely, it is. I want to save the manure.
Well, composting and...
But also, with the cloud, I used to go horseback riding around El Dorado Springs. They used to climb the International Mountain Climbing Group, the Alpine Climbers.
Yeah.
They were, during the winter, they're your personal trainers. Summers, they're teaching climbing. I used to ride our horses back behind it and see the Mustangs. And the Mustangs are being rounded up improperly because we need their manure to reconstitute the soil, to keep the grass growing, to stop fires. So if you remove them from the land, you're going to have fires. The land is going to blow away because you don't have that heavy nutrient locking it in with the roots of plants.
Right.
I got a PhD from Langston University for agriculture.
Holy crap.
And another one from science and humanities and one from Harvard because of me learning about everybody around me. And when they ask me, what can I do? Well, here it is. Okay. Point one, point two, point three. So with filmmaking, we are recording the lost art of comedy, budgetry, knowing art, and it's going to play. If a $5 million movie, Cinnamon, was $5 million from Tubi. They produced it. Village Roadshow started it. That weekend, 6 million streamers watched it.
Wow.
And they were going, that could have been 6 million tickets. But I said 60 million. But the
those
fact
people aren't
is,
going to come out.
they're there. They have a market. They have a viability.
Right.
And the fact that this very simple theme story of me being handicapped and blind, but I'm still a criminal. I'm still someone who's angry. And I asked the director and everybody, so when did I lose my disability? When did I become disabled?
Right.
When did I come blind? Why am I mad
Stage of
now?
life that you're
Why
in.
am I? So to build my depth of character and anger and humility and comedy,
What's your
because
action?
I've been around a lot of people who are disabled. And when I have, just to wrap this up, I know you don't want to.
I know. I'll sit here and talk all day with you. You're amazing.
My therapy writing program was started with a lady in Parker who's blind, has MS and epilepsy.
Right.
And she needed more horses and more volunteers. So that's what I do from the generosity of my industry. Brought my horses over, learned how to work with disabled adults and children. And I said, Bonnie, we're not going to charge the $30 an hour. It's for me, I want it to be free.
Right.
But I demand that the parents ride with the child as well,
No, a great bonding moment.
so that they can converse with their child on their discoveries and have something to talk about, because the children don't. They're ridiculed. When we took them to shows, the rich girl says, how come those cripples are here?
Oh, my
I went off. I said, they are not
Uncalled
cripples. And I went
for.
off on the mamas. I don't care who your name is or what street your name is on. Don't you dare call my girls cripples.
No.
We're going to beat your ass.
Yes.
And they did.
Down.
And on little bitty tiny skinny horses, we do. Okay, we'll take that one over there.
You in the corner.
We'll
yeah.
get that horse over here. We're going to feed them, fatten them up, and teach them and give them love. And when our parents went with us to shows, Columbine, High Prairie, Pendragon, all the local schooling shows.
Right.
The moms were saying, okay, get that cannon right. We got to change insulin here, urine bag over there. Okay, for hunter green, pearl earrings, hair in a net, the tack has to be the same color. It can't be a dark brown or black for halter, lead, and saddle. It has to be all the same color. And our girls are so proud. They can't walk or ride a bike.
They can ride a horse. That's fantastic.
They did more than ride a horse. They got scholarships. There's a lot of the universities have horses and will give you a liberal arts scholarship where you can be a vet just to get in.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have a horse. Just ride for 6 years. Your grades are good. Your parents are supportive. Many of the parents showed up more than, they didn't get their hair done anymore. They didn't get their nails done anymore. They're going to ride with their horse, walk, trot, canter. Close your eyes. You can feel the horse. Trust the horse. The horse is the most honest animal on the planet, beside a dog and a cat. They never lie.
No, they didn't.
There's never a false move. No. And those are the people and animals that have taught me, so I can be here in Denver today.
For the Colorado Festival of Wine. You're amazing. So what do you have coming up? Because I hear you're like a whirlwind. You're in production mode, I heard this morning. You're already like hard at it. What you got coming up? Can you talk about it?
I have Village Roadshow optioned Foxy, my book, autobiography, My Life in 3 Acts. And I'm executive producer. And I got a 5-year deal. And I have another 5-year deal with another company. And I'm bringing women lead films to production.
Perfect.
And I'm executive producer, and we're going to be rebooting Foxy Brown and Coffee, and possibly Bones with Snoop.
I was going to talk to you about Bones because and I know that's one of my favorite films of yours. I know it is absolutely a train wreck, and I love it. It is
How could you not have that skinny rapper doing a slow jam with you?
Yes. How did you do a film with? How did you even get done doing it?
I did a video for him, and because I was the bad girl, good girl,
right.
Person, and they didn't think I would do it. I said, of course, I'll bring an audience to you, exposure. I said, your rapping, your music is genius.
Yeah.
Now you're angry. There's profanity, as color, but at Fiddler Green, when he came out.
He's
with
respectful.
Eminem and Exhibit and Dre, I called him because he'd had me in the video, and I said, you come out to my ranch, and me and my mom are going to cook breakfast for you and your entire crew, so you don't have to look for food.
That's fantastic.
And they came out in a van, drove past my house.
I can just visualize this.
Well, the windows were filled with smoke.
I was going to say, how much of a cloud came out of that van when the door opened?
Well, they drove by my house in Franktown, and they thought it was the Helps house. My mom and I were standing out. Heimlich. My mom and I were standing outside going, hey, we're in. They went, zoom. And I said, come back. My mom, we're in the driveway. Hello. And they hadn't seen a farmhouse before. With a barn.
No, they're all city kids.
Exactly, Compton. And so they pulled in and opened the door. The smoke billowed out.
Oh, my God.
All over my mom. She said, oh, that's spicy. I'm going, it's going to be a real good breakfast here. And it was like the Volkswagen with the 30 clowns in it.
Oh, my God.
When did it stop? Everybody's hungry. It was everybody and their mama in the van. So we brought them in, and they saw from the outside the house was so inconspicuous.
Right.
You're a big star. And I got toilets running water.
That's right.
And so
I got money in the bank.
They came in and coupons.
Coupons.
And they saw how I renovated. And with iron stairways, recessed lighting, and Persian carpets and stuff. All from Target. It's on sale.
It's on sale.
My tack room is decorated, and I tell everybody
their lives.
I did.
That.
All of them wanted to go back, and Snoop said, "How do I get these people out of my mansion? They come and they stay." And they said, look, he went back and he sold it and he found a single-story house in the valley because that's how he wanted to live his life simply. And I said, you don't need all that.
You don't.
It said, out of necessity comes genius, and you don't talk about what you're going to do. You just do it. Mm-hmm. That's how I learned as a poor, starving student riding her bike in the snow to school. So they wanted to see my horses, which were very big, the Dutch warmboard Olympic jumpers.
Right.
So Snoop said, I'm going to ride and when he saw my horses, he went berserk. He was very scared. But after that, he said, okay, next Bones came up. And so I said, you need to go mainstream. You're really personable. Mm-hmm. These gangsters hold you down.
They do. Hold
you back.
At the end of the day, it's just you.
They would shoot you if you showed up at their house in the dark at night.
Absolutely.
So how much is you're giving and you're paying? Let them learn from you from afar. Mm-hmm. And so he took it. And so he was on Jennifer Hudson's show not too long ago talking about how we were going to do, he was going to come as a guest to the L Word.
All right.
And we're going to sing together. And he showed up, and the thing about it is, here again, there's the smoke in Canada. How long do I keep you here? So he talked about when we met at the airport to fly up to Canada that he had like an AFib thing happening, and he got so upset he went to the men's room and he fainted in the stall next to the toilet, and the security had to come and find him. And he was so overwhelmed for meeting me that he passed out.
That's going to happen to me once you leave.
It's on the Jennifer Hudson. I called him, but I said, I didn't know you passed out in urine? Really? and I had to sit next to you on the plane?
Ew.
And he laughed and laughed. But here again, this is the 50-year anniversary of Foxy Brown.
Yep.
I've been heralded and been given these awards, and each community that I've gone to for showing Coffee and Foxy Brown, literally, they use the money to renovate community theaters, movie theaters all across the country, and drive-ins. So Snoop has a drive-in, and we're working
makes sense, actually.
Drive-ins and movie theaters in communities, so they not only can they show films, but they can have art, music, local music and bands and touring bands and things like that, where there's jazz or string, cello, chamber music, whatever. But we don't want to lose those theaters.
We can't.
So there's a huge, that encompasses everything that I do.
And it's a huge staple for the culture. I mean,
it is.
You have nowhere to play anymore. You have nowhere to perform, and it's sad.
A comedy, but they're like the Improv in off of where is it? Where Fiddler Green is, Greenwood Village. Greenwood Village.
Yeah.
They only accommodate comedians in the audience, but to have a theater that is like the Paramount and the Bluebird,
and then you've got,
where you can have live music. Yeah. So we need those. That's our community, and that's showing. Because everyone says that's a real violin. Those are real drums. That's not drum machines.
Yep.
Electronic music. Real instruments that kids are learning to play. Look at the bands in college, real instruments, and they're fabulous musicians, fabulous. So if I'm a part of that, yeah, go ahead.
It's a nice benchmark. You have like people to go say hi to, and I could sit here and talk with you all day. Because I just alone, like with Bones, absolutely love, and Snoop Dogg stories. That man is commentating on the Olympics. Holy crap! I was so impressed with that.
He wouldn't have done it if he didn't have the confidence, because the first thing he said from Fiddler's Green was, okay, not only am I giving you breakfast for your show tonight, but I'm going to have Big Jim's out of Parker cater your dinner so you guys don't have to leave to go out look for food.
Right.
And he said, Pam, I just got a call. Fiddler's Green wants us for another night. We sold out first night. 2 nights in white America. I said, it's not white America.
It's not white America.
Music is every man's music. And they're bringing their sons and daughters to see your black ass, okay? But so it's a lesson.
Better not disappoint.
But it's not in school. It's a lesson.
It is.
In humanities, because that's their world. And when I took my nephew here, he's an attorney, he went to Duke Law. He said, Auntie Pam, we drove out. He cycled. He was a cyclist for Cat 2. He would ride from a real estate company that sponsored him. He was going to be like the next Lance Armstrong, but a black. He said, no, I'm sticking with law. I don't like the bumps on my head, okay? So they would ride from Boulder to Aspen. That's insane.
Yes.
So he
oh, my
said,
God, yes.
Auntie Pam, I'm out here in Raleigh-Durham at Duke Law, and 60% of the campus in my study groups are from Bombay, India, Mumbai. And they've taught me how to study and be a better student. They've all come here to get an education because they're so filled with gratitude to be able to have this level of education globally afforded.
Accessible.
And I want all of our kids to understand that that's their future.
Right.
And you're going to have to make your own water. So when I went on MSNBC with Joy Reid, talked about EVs, water making machines for every home, like they have on the desert.
Right.
Cold, frozen cold, warm air, condensation water for every home when you come home. So we don't tax the farmers and take the water away from them.
Yeah.
Agriculture PhD.
You are amazing. So how do the people at home and around the world follow you? What's the best way to keep an eye on the next adventure?
Just Google me.
I try not to do that in public.
Well, it's called the Brown Nipple Revolution. What can I tell you? What can I tell you?
That is brilliant.
I can't begin to tell you the invitations from Spain, London, France, Italy, Germany, Japan, all the places that women's studies, film studies, Australia, that I've been invited, and I'm saying, just hang on. I got people to get to work right now. I got 3 projects to get out. Start now with my pre-production, screenplay, budget, marketing for next year.
Yeah.
And I can have people working in the first 6 months of next year. And then we'll have product by the end of next year. New fun, products, which is global because all the women, we're so connected because of internet and the Google.
Right.
And they come here and are inspired from what we do. Do you know the Star Wars saber?
Yeah, lightsaber.
I got one.
Is it purple?
It turns colors.
Nice.
It turns colors.
What's your favorite color?
It could green or purple.
Okay.
But I take it down to the barn at night and the horses go, hey, shit. What? Crazy mom. Here she comes. Here she comes. So I sent them to a lot of my friends because they're expensive.
Right.
My friends they're not going to pay $200 for a saber for the kids. So I said, here's their gift for good grades.
Damn, I wish I was in school. I want a free saber.
Bribe them.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I have people's kids all over this city who I absolutely adore. And they're my children.
No?
And to see them, some are trans, some are...
People are people.
It's humanity. I said, we don't really have control of our X and Y chromosomes or how we're going to be born.
No.
And so whatever gift comes into the world, if I wake up breathing, I'm going to have a good day.
Yep, absolutely. You are an icon. You are amazing. Have you visited your velvet painting over Voodoo Donuts?
Yes. I have. And I get free donuts for the rest of my life.
You better.
Guess what? There's Voodoo Donuts at the airport.
There is. It's upstairs.
Yes.
It's a new treat up
there.
there.
I peeked in and I said, hi, and they went.
They're like, who's this crazy
And I was
lady?
down. I got to catch the train because everyone's waiting for me. But, and I told them, I said, you're going to expand. Mm-hmm. And they also have a Voodoo Donuts in Portland, Oregon.
That's the one I knew.
That's the original.
Yep, that was the one I knew.
And I walk in and they say, donuts in the house.
There you go.
So I get free donuts and Subarus, so I'm good.
There you go.
And horse feed.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy whirlwind of a life. You are amazing, an icon.
Hey, we have so much abundance here.
Yes.
We should never be bored.
No.
I get up in the morning and I'm just amazed at everything. My dogs have their own channel, Dog TV. They get to watch TV they get to bark at the TV. They have their own TV. Right. They have their own room.
My Bengal doesn't care. He just wants to try and catch whatever's bugging him at the window.
Oh, I have from Jeff Young.
Yeah.
I have a dog, my mom's Yorkie, and then I have a couple of other that were breeders, Maltese, Havanese, and another Havanese from Pilots and Paws. And I just rescue, and I've had, in some of the rescues I foster, and I offer to other families. And the dog shook back at my house. I said, they didn't give me pasta. I left.
I want pasta and bacon.
Oh, yeah, how you know? How you know about bacon? No, just puts a little tincture of the bacon grease on their food if they act like they're snooty, and all of a sudden they go, I was tricked. I thought there was bacon at the bottom of the bowl. My dogs are intelligent. Yeah. But I have fun, but horses and my neighbors and stuff. So the whole nation is my home.
Good. Well, you're our favorite child, so that's okay.
I know you got dibs.
I got dibs. Hell yes. And I went to GW. We're like
homies. Homies. And then in Mexico, you're my vato. Hola, vato, ¿qué pasó? Yeah, you're my vato, vato. So, and if you say, so it says that you're not a snooty gringo. Say, I'm your vato, hola, yo mio vato, we cool, And so it's like a simpatico.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm going to let you go. Because everyone is waiting for you. I know there's a line already for you, so.
Oh, there is not. They thought I was bringing donuts.
And on that bombshell, we shall say goodbye. In the meantime, run fast, laugh hard, always be kind. Good night.